Hey guys, it's Jasmine. Thanks for tuning in today. Today we are going to be making some shirts. But before I get into that, if this is your first time, thank you for stopping by my channel. Hopefully what you see here today will cause you to hit that subscribe button. And thank you to all my wonderful returning subscribers. But let's jump into it. So my nephew plays football and we were going to his game. So my sister asked me to make her shirt. She wanted hers to say football aunt. So as you can see, I'm right here getting that text in design space and really just trying to figure out what font I think looks good. She didn't give me any major details that she wanted. She really wasn't sure. She kind of left it up to me. So I'm just going to scroll through the font, see what I find, and make something work. So I settled on this Cambria font. I believe that's the name. I liked it, but it was kind of thin. So I chose to make it bold instead because it helps it to stand out more. I like the font, but I wanted it to be a little bit more noticeable. So making it bold helps. Italics will also help, but that gives it more of almost like a script-like look to it. I didn't want that, but that can help too if you want to make your, words more noticeable. So here I just go through and resize everything. I wanted the word football to be 11.5 inches wide. It's locked, so the height will be automatic. And for the word aunt, I wanted that to be 7 inches wide. And again, it's locked. The height will be whatever it's going to be. So to make this design a little bit better, I wanted to add a football. So a lot of times we go to Google to find, an image. But for those of you who don't know, if you select images, which is on the left-hand side, you can search for images in design space. They do offer some free images. So I am going to select this free football and add it to my canvas. They do have some that you can pay for, anywhere from $1 to, $5 or $6, but that is always an option. So don't rule out Cricut. They do have some stuff. So my nephew is number 32, and I want to incorporate that into the football. So at first I was going to, playing around with it to see how it would look kind of like above it and beside it. I didn't like that. So then I'm like, okay, I would rather have it on the football. So I'm just kind of resizing this to kind of see what size I want it to be, what looks good, if it's even, if it's centered, yada, yada, yada. But here I am selecting the number and the football and hitting slice so that when I cut it, it's going to cut the number 32 out of the football. So when you slice it, you will get the original 32 that was there, and then you'll have the piece that was cut out. And we can go ahead and delete those because we don't need those. But yeah, so once that cuts, that number 32 will automatically be in there. It's attached, it's not separate pieces. It's, exactly what it looks like there. If you guys would like a tutorial on slicing, leave it down in the comments and I will be sure to do a video on that specifically for that, to help you guys out. Now I just selected the whole thing and I'm changing the color because I'm using burgundy vinyl and I wanted to basically kind of see how it looks. She's getting a black t-shirt, so I'm basically trying to put it on a black background to have like a good understanding of what it's going to look like. So this is just an easy way to do that, get a square or whatever shape and put it behind your words so that you can see. Now that wasn't really burgundy, it was more of a red. So I'm just customizing a color to get more of the color that I'm looking for so I can really see, what it's going to look like. So I'm just changing that up really quick, and I actually sent this to her to ask her what she thought before I actually made it. Also, I have two number 32s here because I'm going to put those on the sleeves on the side. I didn't actually, show that, but literally hit the text button and write the numbers. That's it. So now I'm going to shift this down to the bottom of the screen, basically. Not all the way at the bottom, but move it out of the way because I am going to be making myself a shirt as well, because he is my nephew too. And I'm going to be cutting it all at the same time. So I'm going to be doing it on one mat all together. So I'm like, let me just move that to the bottom so I can go ahead and get started on my shirt. So mine is going to be pretty simple. My nephew, his name is Lamar, and I'm just writing that I am Lamar's biggest fan because I am. And yeah, so I'm just going to go through pretty much do the same thing I did for hers. Figure out what I want on there, choose the right font, which I think I just end up keeping the same font, and then change the color so that it all cuts on the same mat, and that's it. So now I decided that I want the football like hers, so I just select it and then I duplicate it and I bring it up to where mine is, but I'm a little bit extra, so I want mine to be bigger than hers. So I'm gonna make it bigger. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do some resizing. So I wanted his name to be like 10.5 inches wide. So I just went ahead and changed that. If you notice where the apostrophe is between the R and the S, there's quite a bit of space there. I didn't pay attention to it in design space, but I will fix it later. So you'll have to stay tuned to see how I do it. But I recommend that if you notice it, do it in design space. It just makes it much easier because it complicates things to do things afterward. But anyway, so as you've noticed, I deleted the word fan that was on its own and just put it together as one line of words. It just makes it easier for cutting. Apparently, my football wasn't big enough, so I made it a little bit bigger again. And I'm going to select everything and make sure it's all the same color so that it will be placed on the same mat. So I bought a new blade for my Cricut because the one I have was super dull. But let me tell you, this thing was so sharp that it doesn't really pick up well on camera, but it literally cut through. Everything was falling apart. You can see the white behind the M there. See where the 2 is right there. those 32s came completely out. Like, everything was falling apart. It was so stressful and so frustrating. Like, but I wanted y'all to see but I had to buy it because the last time the blade didn't cut through anything. So yeah. Okay, so finally I have everything weeded. So I'm going to put on my vinyl. I'm going to be using this T-square that I bought. This is my first time using it. I literally just opened it right now. There is a little QR code. If you're watching this on your TV, you can scan it. Okay, let's get this to focus better. Hold on. Well, anyway, that's about as good as it's gonna be. I don't know. There it goes. But if I remember, I'll try to put a link to it down in the description. I got it off of Amazon, and the brand is Mr. Pen. I think it was only like $10. My center. The center is going to be based on the tag. So let me see. Okay, these numbers. Why do they have that like that? See, but I'm so gonna call it. I feel like this space here is too wide, so I want to cut it, and then that's going to like kind of mess it up a little bit, but. So dramatic. At least to me it is. Let's see. So that part of it is the sun. is just like not. I mean, I could probably take it off, like the outside piece, but it didn't cut through all the way around, and I'm not trying to stand it. Find a little piece that goes inside the middle of my little hashtag thing. I don't know if y'all can see that on my hand. Where's my child? I ain't got time for this. Oh, don't flip back out. So make sure I got the right side. Oh, I done dropped it. Oh, Jesus. This is too much. Where is that? I normally hold it up to show y'all, but this little thing is probably going to fall out if I do that. So it's probably going to fall out anyway. But look, it just stuck to my finger. So I want to sit right there. So let's just do this. It's gonna be what it's gonna be today. Oh, this thing is so hot, I can't even breathe. Okay, now make sure I have the right side. Oh, Jesus. And now, where's my... I don't even know. I wanted to use my Teflon sheet, which you never see me use, but because the vinyl is like so cut up, I would want to cover it, but it's not looking like a real possibility today. So I'm actually just gonna use this. Now this is something that I cut before. So I'm gonna make a shirt and I'll save this. I'm just gonna put it over the bottom part. See that little thing in the number? It's just a tad bit crooked to me, but I'm just gonna breathe. And I'm gonna let that press for was set to 30 seconds. So if you're wondering why it didn't beep, that is why. I'm a big fan of this color gray shirt, but I really grabbed the first gray shirt I saw. Hope y'all can see how cut up and just a rag, and put a new blade on the Cricut and everything is just like apart. Cut out with each letter. Just trying to stay on the letter. So long to get this off here. So that's done. This is the shirt. Now I'm about to show you how ready I really am. You see that? See how that's off? That bothers me. And don't say you don't see it, because you see it. But anyway, that's what we got. I'm going to be doing the second shirt. You probably can't tell, but this shirt is wrinkled. So I'm going to press it out first. I'm going to turn on this light. So I'm going to press it first. Because this, I don't think it's picking this up, but like, that's really good. So my press isn't all the way hot, but it doesn't need to be all the way hot just to press out the wrinkles. Sorry, that makes the whole camera shake, but yikes. There we go. Now our surface is nice and smooth. Okay. sometimes the way like the extra isn't even, so that can make your words look crooked, when that's not even the case. It's just that the border around it is not straight. So I'm just going to cut the extra pieces off of the top and the bottom. Make sure it's in a straight line, so I can probably gauge a little bit better how straight this is. So now there's like, it's literally right at the letter. Then I will show you how I'm going to put the number 32 here on the sleeves, okay? Okay, I'm doing this on the floor so I can get as close as possible. So I have my sleeve of my shirt. This is like the regular way. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to basically, I don't know, like flatten it out. So this is over here. Hold on, let me lift this up. So this is the shoulder seam. So this is going to be flat, okay? Okay. And you want to make sure that the rest of your shirt is not under the the sleeve. So you're gonna pull that part away. So the other part of the sleeve is there, and it is gonna make a little bit of impression on there, but that's okay. So I'm not gonna put it right on the seam. I'm gonna put it about like half an inch, like this much of my finger, like a half inch above. Hang on, there's like a little piece of lint right there. Feel free to lint roll before you apply. Okay, so that looks fine. And I'm using my Easy Press. Wait, hold on. Maybe if I do hold this down so I'm not trying to burn the floor. I pressed it for 10 seconds. I didn't hit the timer, so I just counted. And that's on there. So, put the sleeve how it normally is. But it's going to be on the side. I'm just going to turn this over. Do the same thing on the other side. Okay. And then you want to put it about 1 inch above and center it. Press it for about 10 seconds. Hope y'all can see how, when I told you how the thing cut through, like these numbers were barely holding on here, especially on the first one. Look at this. It kind of melted back together when I pressed it to make it stick, but it was terrible. But so that's how you put that number on the sleeve, and hopefully that helped anybody out who had any questions about that.